are the group CEO after all. Can you tell us a little bit about your strategy when it comes to developing alliances and partnerships? How do you go about it?
I have personally been involved in almost 8 different transactions in the last 15 years. Some of them have turned out to be extremely successful for our business. But as we approach our joint ventures, we have joint ventures with global leaders like Prosegur, which is the second largest security company in the world, Terminix, which is the world's largest pest control business, ServiceMaster Corporation, which is amongst the largest facility management companies based out of US. So dealing with these global companies, buying, selling, joint ventures, I think the one thing I've learned is that ultimately the foundation of a solid partnership is possibly the fair and reasonable test.
Now, okay, India as a nation, we're moving towards Digital India, Swachh Bharat, these kind of programs. How does that affect your business?
The government's new initiatives like Make in India and Swachh Bharat have a direct impact on the businesses we operate. Our businesses expand at roughly 2 to 2.5 times of GDP growth. So all the different initiatives of the government like Make in India and Swachh Bharat have a direct bearing on the GDP growth, and that has a direct impact on the way our business expands.
Now, I believe for your group and for you, I suppose, particularly as the leader of the group, creating employment is very important, and you do have a large target of hitting employment of 2 lakh people by 2020. Can you talk us through this target of yours and how you plan to reach this goal?
Well, I consider myself very fortunate to be a part of a sector which can actually help towards job creation and job creation for the people who need jobs most, which is the rural youth from underprivileged sections of our society. And the good thing is that across all businesses we are creating around about 1,500 new permanent jobs each month. So looking forward into Vision 2020, over the next 4 years we are fairly confident of scaling our employee headcount to over 2 lakh people as permanent staff.
All right, and finally, can you tell us how can one ensure a sustainable, socially responsible business enterprise? I know this is something that's very important to you and your business, so can you tell us how you can really ensure that?
SIS is into business support services, and we interface hugely with the industry as well as the job seekers. I think we act as a bridge between the two and help towards job creation. I think in that context, I think we have been very lucky to play a role in the social structure of the country, in terms of whether it's we have a role to play in Skill India. We train a very large number of people and make them employable each year. We also run a very large workforce, and we are continuously trying to evolve as an employer to look after our people better. So overall, I think the business support services space is not just a great proxy for the India growth story. It's also a fantastic opportunity to run a socially responsible enterprise. Well,
on that note, thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Sinha. It's been a pleasure to have you here. And all the best for your future.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Well, that was the story of SIS Group Enterprises.
Now today we're going to meet a man who is not only a successful entrepreneur in his own right, but is also training others to scale greater heights. Praveen Daryani started the Indian Institute of Learning and Development in 2009. And with different tailor-made programs to suit different needs, IILD has today helped over 6,000 entrepreneurs multiply profits manifold. So, Mr. Daryani, welcome and thank you so much for joining us today. Let's start at the top. Tell us about the foundation of the Indian Institute of Learning and Development. How did you start it, and tell us about the first few years?
We started this journey in 2009 when I started with a very small setup into training industry. I used to start, we started like training students first, then we went to training teachers, then we went to training corporates. And we realized while we are training them, a lot of times my focus, my main objective towards training is results. I never respected trainings more than that. I respected results. like what is the outcome of training? That's something which drives me now. When we were working for students or the teachers or the employees, we realize they are not decision maker. When they learn something or they get something, they can't implement with themselves. Students have their parents, the teachers have their management, the corporates have their management, the bosses. At times they are not able to implement things. I was very clear I have to work with the fraternity who have a decision maker, like who take their decisions by themselves. So I was behind it, and we were like which target audience is there, who will take decisions and who will implement the results, who will implement the learnings out of training, which will yield results. That was very important for me. I mean, results drives me in out. Then we researched about entrepreneurs. We realized this is the fraternity. I know way back 2011. I took few entrepreneurs on which I started working upon. I understood their working style. I understood what is not there with them, what is there with them, why they are not growing, why they are growing, many things. And we realized many things. That's how we came into entrepreneur coaching. Basically, Indian Institute of Learning and Development is entrepreneur coaching company.
Okay.
We assist entrepreneurs to take their business to the next level.
Great.
From 2011, we are into entrepreneur coaching. Today, till date, we have trained around 15,000 participants, out of which 6,000 participants we have trained entrepreneurs.
It's now time for a short break, but don't go anywhere, because when we return,
we do different modules, like we talk about leadership, we talk about delegation, we talk about brand building, processes, business on autopilot mode.
Right.
We talk about strategies that's quite uniquely designed and developed by Team ILD.